Welcome to PSG News. No? Like Dylan could do like a news outlet kind of thing over it? I'm Benny. That is Houston. And that is the Shank. He will shank you in the bathroom. So, look behind you if you're watching us while in the toilet. I had some coffee before this.
I'm working on it.
This is the weekly, absolutely, PlayStation Esteemed Gamers news podcast. We're going to go through the news, talk about it, and I'm going to lump two of these together. Right at the top of the wire, we've got Horizon Forbidden West, PS4 and PS5. Differences explained, and God of War delayed until 2022, coming to PS4 and PS5. So, I'm going to open this up to look at the specific differences, but let's talk about the fact that these two system sellers are going to PS4.
Here's the big thing. Horizon has been being developed on a PS4.
Yeah, that surprised me. I thought they would primarily be working on the PS5 when they were developing it.
Why are they using the PS4?
Probably just because it's got a bigger install base is what that's going to boil down to.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
I mean, more people have a PS4. If
they'll sell more copies.
I think what it comes down to is Sony has to make a decision. Do they want to sell more PlayStation 5s, thereby God of War 2, Horizon Forbidden West, these games hitting PS5, or do they want to sell more copies of the game? I think that this is a sign that Sony's kind of getting done with trying to push the new system. Otherwise, that would be where they're leading to. These are system sellers right here.
I think the big thing is they know they want this game out by the end of this year, no earlier than next year. And they know they can't get PS5s out fast enough.
Right. And I would agree with you that, I mean, PS5s are selling, like, they're going out of sale every time they come up, so they don't have to worry about selling their PS5s.
That's true.
And B,
you don't have to worry about it.
This is a flagship IP for them. So, I mean, it's just going to get PlayStation in the mouths of like anybody who's talking. They just want to get the game out. The issue is that when the development of this game started, would they have known the PlayStation 5s are going to be selling the way they are now? Because like development takes so long, they wouldn't have known that at the time they started. So I'm just curious why
I guess you're not wrong about that.
I'm just curious why they started developing on the PS4 to begin with.
Maybe it was originally just going to be a sequel on PS4. It took longer than expected, and Sony was like, hey, could you guys roll that over to PS5? Looking at the differences, PS5 will support 60 frames per second, allow for a larger draw distance, more processing power. The lighting rig is going to be better, but it generally just looks like how we've seen a lot of these PS5 upgrades in general. PS4 is going to be perfectly fine and functional. PS5 is just going to definitively look better.
Yeah, that's the big thing I saw was that the lighting seems like it's going to have cinematic lighting on the PS5 even during gameplay.
Yeah.
That looked like the biggest difference in the 60 frames per second. Although, did I misread that? It said that the 60 frames per second was going to drop the resolution anyways.
I think so. I mean, it's weird when you see them do upscaling to 60 frames per second.
It says it's unclear what sacrifices will be made to allow 60 frames per second.
So that's just speculation then?
So I just read the exact quote the game director said. I'm not even going to try to say his name. A lot of Mathij de Jong.
Okay.
I don't know.
Isn't this like a Swedish company, I think, that makes this one or something, or like a Dutch company?
Yeah. But his exact quote was, a lot of the development has taken place on the PS4, and a lot of play testing has been done on the PlayStation 4. Meaning, they may have started on the PS5. They get through, they see, oh crap, we can't get consoles out fast enough. Do you guys think you could push back and get some PS4 stuff done?
That would make sense.
Yeah. I could see that too, yeah. Because that also brings up the other game that has definitively announced that it will be coming to PS4, God of War 2, sometimes referred to as God of War Ragnarok, which was slated for a late 2021 release, is now being pushed to 2022 because of they don't want to. They cited the safety and well-being of their team. They don't want to into that crunch environment, so they're just going to push the game back, which is great. I've said since the beginning, everyone likes to argue about game development crunch. And like, I've got a buddy who used to work in the industry, and he's like, I hate it. Any game that does crunch, I don't buy. And I'm like, that's not the answer. The answer is the company has to stop doing crunch. That's an across the board, like, I guess, environment thing that needs to happen, like, in game development. But they're going to push back their game for that to avoid that.
I'll argue a little bit. That is the way that you get video games to stop doing crunch, is by not purchasing. That's the only thing that's going to make them not do it.
I agree, but the fact is...
That's a different conversation.
Yeah, it's a different conversation, but in my opinion, the 95% of the Call of Duty bros aren't going to give a crap that someone had to do 60-hour days to get this done. You know what I mean? Like, they don't, and that's the problem.
Yeah, but if companies see a 5% drop in their margins, then they might change.
I also think at this point, they realize gamers are going to buy the game when it comes out. They'll wait an extra year if they have
with
to.
the God of War, right. They can avoid the crunch and not have to deal with that and get all that backlash of, did you hear how bad it was in the last 3 months of God of War? Instead, they just put it out later. But what about the PS4 release for that? Another potential system seller, and now they're like, yeah, PS4, PS5 versions.
I think it just comes down to they don't need system sellers. The systems are selling. They just...
I think it also shows PS4 to PS5. Honestly, PS5 is not that big of a jump. It's quieter, it loads faster, it looks a little better, but we're not talking like PS2 to PS3. We're not talking 360 to an Xbox One here.
I think that's what you're going to see from now on with all these different systems, like the new versions. Like, it's going to be like a PS4 to PS4 Pro is going to be like the same as PS Pro to PS5. It's going to be a little bit better. It's going to be a marginal step up, just to keep pace with the development of how like processing intense these games have become. But I don't think you're really going to see big jumps anymore.
Yeah. Well, we didn't really see from, I mean, PS3 to PS4 wasn't that big of a jump until the back half of the PS4 life cycle. No, think launch titles for PS4 compared to the later PS3 title. I saw your face.
Yeah, I'm thinking of like The Last of Us was a PS4 launch title, right?
It was on PS3.
It started on PS3.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
They did a remake for PS4, but it wasn't that much different.
Yeah. So, and I think we're dealing with that.
That's my point.
Yeah. I think we're dealing with that exact same environment but this time they're embracing it. Like, look, PS5 is not that big a jump. It will be 5 years from now, and you got 5 years to get a PS5. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's how they're looking at it. Because out of all the games we played, I could think of that I needed a PS5 to properly play. I'm going to need it on Tuesday for Final Fantasy VII Interguard. What was that, Shank?
But you don't need it. You want it.
Right?
Return what? Oh, Returnal? No, yeah, I just kept hearing return. That's all. I was like, return what? What am I returning?
Never mind.
Returnal? No, Bill. You do need it for Interguard. You can't play the...
Oh, do you?
Yeah, it's a PS5 only thing. But like, Returnal, Interguard, that's it.
They forgot about Demon Souls!
I mean, Shank and Huey, we've talked about this every week. Majority of the games I'm playing are PS4 titles on my PS5. They're just loading faster.
But even like with the, is it Interguard or Intergrade? Regardless.
Final Fantasy VII Remake PS5 Edition.
Expansion, yeah. Is that even it needs the PS5 to run it? Like, it's a processing issue. That's a marketing issue.
Yeah.
And I would argue that what Horizon and God of War are doing is better for the studio, it's better for the employees, and it's better for the consumers. So
they're gonna make more money.
I think the reason, and this is just a pure speculation on the Final Fantasy VII remake situation, is I think what this is they're prepping for Chapter 2. Chapter 2 is probably only going to be PS5 because of how long it's taking to develop it. They're not worried about a PS4 release. So they're getting a PS5 version, which is now updated for PS5 so they can just work with those tools instead of, again, making a PS4 version. I think that's the point of this remake additional content thing.
Maybe. Yeah, I could see that.
Well, I think they just looked at the cost. They're like, look, we sold plenty of the original. Let's make a PS5 version. So now Final Fantasy VII Remake is on PS5, Chapter 1, 2, 3, 4. These are your tools. Work with these. You're fine. And we don't have to worry about PS4 anymore. And no one can whine that the original game is on PS4, you know?
Oh, they'll still whine.
Oh, they will. I got a buddy. I mean, we raid with him, Shank. Every day I talk to him, like, you ready for Interguard? He goes, it's bullshit that it's only on PS5. I'm like, yeah, but You'll play it eventually.
Well, it's bullshit that it's only on PS5 because PS5s are still incredibly hard
Yeah.
to get your hands on. Like, I'm literally not going to be able to play it because I don't have a PS5 yet.
Yeah, I know.
That's the only reason I'm not going to play it the day it comes out.
And I think that this issue will resolve itself in like a year when they're more readily available. So it's not that big a deal. But I mean, maybe I'm looking at it from that way because I have the PS5. So it's like, for me, it's not a big deal. Tuesday, I'm playing as Yuffie.
No, it is kind of a FU to the player base. Be like, oh, it's on the PS5, but sorry, you can't get a PS5.
Yeah. I mean,
Which in Square's
I do
defense,
kind of agree. What I wish, and they haven't said it, which to me says this didn't need to only be PS5. I wish they would say why. Why is it only PS5? Like, what is happening in this remake, the upgraded graphics, the upscaling, that needs the PS5? Because if there was something and they were like, look, this is the reason, so because of that, it's only on PS5. No, they're just like, Yuffie chapter, PS5. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, I'm pretty sure the answer is nothing.
yeah.
Right?
Well, that's
Like,
why I don't think they've said anything, because you're right.
Well, so enough bad news about Final Fantasy VII. Our next topic was apparently we are going to be able to have cross-save on Final Fantasy VII.
Yep, that's what I was just opening up. That's why my face keeps flashing, because every time I open one of these IGN articles, it goes big white screen, and it's like, excuse me, you've got an ad blocker.
Would you like to turn this off?
No, I
no,
don't. Thank you, though.
No, it's there for a reason. But so that goes back to you were talking about how you were trying to get the platinum trophy and then you just stopped. But
Right.
you could have done that because your save's going to cross over. You're not even going to have to replay the game.
Yeah, which is why I was going to do it, but I was just...
He wanted 2 platinums for the price of 1.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted.
He was being dumb.
I wasn't being dumb, but I was
you
trying
only
to
cared
get...
about the platinum. You didn't
There
care
goes.
about beating hard
There
mode.
goes.
Yep,
Get it?
I knew that was going to happen. I was watching it too on my screen.
Oh, whoa, what is your cat doing?
Milo,
You just missed the jump. The cat was just down.
please
like
hold.
on that.
I'm going to kick him out of the room for a minute.
I did realize, and this is why I stopped platinuming every game I was playing. I play too many different games to platinum every game. Because what could be a fun 10-hour romp and I enjoy myself and I go play something else was turning into like, all right, Shake, time to play. I got a cigarette for some reason. 60 hours of Resident Evil 8 hard mode. Why, Benny? For that platinum. That sweet, sweet platinum sauce.
I just spent 160 hours in Assassin's Creed Valhalla doing the same thing over and over again.
That stopped being fun like 120 yen. Yeah.
I'm impressed you made it to 120.
When I had a mission, just I know this is for the other podcast, but when I got to that point of there was one mission where I had to show up and this girl was like, the leaf in the tree. My dad said as long as that last one doesn't fall, he'll come back from his year-long journey. And in order to just wrap the quest up, I didn't even care. I'm like, oh, cool. Doink. Yep, it fell. Look, he's dead. All right, moving on. Next quest. I got a platinum to get. Little girl's crying, and I'm like, horse, let's get out of here. We have more bullshit to do. That's what I was like,
Anyway, in other news,
Back on
Yeah, but the
topic.
Final Fantasy, but the mitigation of Final Fantasy VII Remake is being allowing you. I mean, I expected this. I don't know why they would have done anything otherwise. I'm going to load up my other save. I'm going to complete hard mode on the fancy PS5 graphics, So I'm excited for this. I'm assuming, honestly, Yuffie's probably going to be like 2 hours. I will be surprised if it exceeds
better be
5.
longer than 2 hours.
I'll be surprised if it exceeds 5.
Because isn't it like $30?
I don't know. I don't actually know, because don't you get the free upgrade with it? Yeah.
You get you get an upgrade to the PS5 version, then you buy the DLC. The DLC is not free.
Well, even if it's $30, I'm expecting 5 hours. That's what I'm expecting.
You're probably not wrong, and that's just awful.
Yeah, that sounds like a good expectation to
Yeah,
have.
yeah. It'll probably be something like you can beat it in 3 to 5, but here's the bonus extra stuff you can do. You know what I mean? That kind of a thing is what I'm expecting. So, But yeah, no, I expected that though. Every game I've played has some form of uploading. Apparently, you have to get, and here's the usual. If you have not done this before, here's how it works. You have to have the original PS4 copy still downloaded. That's why I haven't deleted Final Fantasy VII from my hard drive yet. Because you have to get on that version, and there's an upload button, and it sends it to some server that downloads it as a PS5 version. They are not a clean mitigation. You have to do some stuff.
Which, if anything, just demonstrates that game is the exact same game as what's on the PS4 right now.
Yes.
We were talking about what the difference is. If you're literally just uploading your save, then it's the exact same game.
Or they're doing some kind of mitigation, but I agree. It probably is. I mean, it just kind of more lines up with that.
Why can't I play with Yuffie on PS4?
Because.
Okay. That's enough of that. I'm done complaining.
All right, next up, we have an Among Us shaped chicken nugget just sold for $100,000.
Hey, you didn't read it right.
What?
It's a chicken nugget from the BTS meal as well. It's a double whammy.
So, Shank, I've decided you need to quit your job and just start getting food and find things that are shaped like things and sell them.
Clearly, that's all I need to do.
And then you'll pay off your student loans right away, then get a second chicken nugget.
I mean, it sold for $99,997.
You did Shank, going to med school, becoming a nurse, 10 years for a degree, wasted. Get a chicken nugget.
Thanks.
Hey, I went to culinary school. I can make the chicken nugget.
You and Shank,
I have
got
a new
thing
plan.
you're doing now. Yeah, you got a thing.
I have a new
You got a
plan.
new side hustle.
What I like is it got 184 bids. Here's my question about that. What do you do with the chicken nugget once you get it?
Shadow box it? Duh. Not only that, it started at 99 cents. It's
Spray
not
it
like
in
this.
preservative.
Yeah, it's not like this person was like, huh, I'm a scam somebody. They started at 99 cents, and it got all the way up to almost $100,000.
It has a 14-day expiration date.
They already quick froze it, so it will be shipped frozen. And if you would like, they will throw in some Szechuan sauce as well.
Wait, where do we get that?
You already had to have it. They already had it.
Okay. That alone is worth $100K. I'm just saying.
But who has $100,000 just like, huh, look at this chicken nugget I bought just because?
I mean, I hate to say it, but we know someone who could probably get away with that.
That's true. I'm going to ask him later.
Hey,
If he's the
buddy.
one that-
You're
Bought
gonna look in your kitchen, and you're gonna see a chicken nugget framed.
And I'm okay with that. If it's in my house, I'm okay with that. 'Cause I didn't pay
I
for
love
it.
the insanity of your life that your roommate could probably buy that chicken nugget, and he's your roommate.
I got
Not
you a
wrong.
gift.
I got you the shadow box chicken nugget from Among Us.
All right, next up we got No Man's Sky Prism updates the visual overhaul for the entire galaxy. No Man's Sky updates the visuals, which is funny because Natalie and I a week ago downloaded the game to play it again and haven't gotten on yet, and now I really want to. So Angie can ride
'Cause it's
flying
pretty.
monsters.
So Huey and I were actually talking about this before you hopped on. How many of these expansions from this year should have just been in the base game? He said that apparently there's like mechs, and that goes above and beyond what they promised. And-
It was Next. Next is when the community said they accomplished what was originally considered the game that was promoted. So Next came...
Really? Because
Yeah.
Expeditions seems like it should have been in the base game.
No, well,
Being able to co-op, explore.
It was no. So what people consider the base game requirement is what was originally promised. By version 1.5, the community was considering the game to be in the promoted state, the launch title. Expeditions, I've done it before because I do play No Man's Sky, and I've tried to get you guys to play with me, and no one will.
I tried.
Still.
I tried. I got bored. I'm sorry.
No Man's Expeditions just basically we log in, we get in a party, it drops us on a planet with a ship, and we literally just explore and accomplish goals. You don't do the survival, you don't do the trading, you don't build a big character. It's the kind of gameplay style where it'd be like, hey, we're just going to jump on a play for a couple hours and make some real progress. It's like an entirely separate mode intended for quick pick up and play space adventures.
Okay. And as far as the survival stuff, can you do that co-op?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was
I
added
haven't
a while
played the game.
ago.
I've downloaded the game because you said you wanted to play it, and then we.
Huey and I logged onto it, and Huey was like, I don't see myself playing this any longer. Like, and I've already got like 40 hours in, so if I got no one to play, I'm not about to just start flying the galaxy again. Woo! I'm alone still!
Right. Well, that was when there was some issue with the PS Network.
Yeah, we were having a
We weren't
PlayStation
able
Network.
to connect for some reason.
Yeah. No, but the base game, what was the release date on that? Let me check when Next came out. The game that was promoted. And, I mean, there's before everyone goes in our comments, the 3 people that watch this, thank you so much for watching this, everyone. Really do appreciate it. And are like, no, I consider it complete at this phase. Generally, it's considered at 1.5 at Next. It was the full multiplayer experience, near unlimited base building. You command freighters, and you had a graphical overhaul. That was
2018.
2018.
Yeah.
That was everything that was originally promoted. Now, of course, you're going to have people that are like, no, this should have been in it, and this should have been in it, like you just said.
Because
But
that's when they
that's
added
me.
the multiplayer and all of the other stuff was
Yeah.
the next expansion.
Yeah, and they call it No Man's Sky Next. Yeah, July 24th, 2018. So that was what the community considered. Okay, you gave us what was actually promised, which, for the record, was 2 years after the game initially came out. So it's not like Next came out a month later.
Right.
And here we are 3 years later now.
Yeah, we're in
and
2021.
Getting another update.
They're all free. You don't pay for anything.
You said 2018 was 2 years after the game came out?
Yeah, it launched in 2016.
That's 5 years later, Huey.
No, I mean from that update.
From the update.
Oh, from
yeah.
that update.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I was just reading through it. I was like, okay, so it's a couple quality of life updates.
So since then, they've updated. There's giant mechs. You can have pets. There is an underwater biome where you can do an entire underwater adventure. You can get on flying pets. You can get mounts. You can get giant robots. You can get a giant tank. You can get an entire armada. You can get the N7 from Mass Effect now as your freighter and fly that around the galaxy. There's 3 different story paths in full to go and complete at this point. There's an entire MMO style multiplayer hub that is connected to every galaxy point. So like you could be in your galaxy, you could be in your galaxy, and we'll go team up, get a separate form of credits that will then unlock a tree of like 50 different cosmetic outfits, proving that we've been playing No Man's Sky. It's ridiculous what is in that game at this point.
I'm glad that it's all in there. No Man's Sky sounds like it's a really fun game to play with friends for like a couple hours a month.
Yeah. No, it is. It's the kind of game you could dump hundreds of hours in and still not see everything, or you could dump a couple of hours in and still make good progress if you know what you're doing. Also, a very
Right.
easy game to get very distracted on, as Huey has seen every time he tries to play it.
He's the one getting distracted because I feel like it's not him getting distracted.
Hey, I've got my freighter and everything. I'm good.
So do I. And I got bored. I have a
Anyway.
freighter. I got my ship.
Anyway, I think the news of this article here is that No Man's Sky is continuing to give free content updates. How much money did they make at launch that they are just like, we don't get a charge for
Oh,
crap?
no. They've already said they've surpassed the amount of money they made. They just feel like they owe the community
Spent.
for
They're
what
for
they
sticking
did.
with him.
Yeah.
All right. All right, next up on our list, we have Nintendo plans to open up a museum in Japan by March 2024. I think that's an awesome idea because if you've ever been to New York, they have the Nintendo store and they got a little museum in the corner, and it's really cool to see.
Yeah.
They rotate out the stuff. It's a lot of times like old systems. They'll look at the line of Game Boys they did, or classic Famicoms, and look at the weird statue of Zelda that you can't buy because we didn't tell anyone it existed, and we only sold 3.
I want it. I
So-
still want it. But yeah, I mean, there's not much to really talk about.
Yeah,
It's just
there's not
sweet.
much
There's a
to-
museum coming.
It's cool that it's happening, but it's also in Japan, which I'm not going to anytime soon. So
Are you sure?
Well, you've got 3 years to plan.
fair.
There is a new thing that I will bring up because you didn't find it, and I only saw it yesterday, and I'm trying to see what the actual news on it is. World of Warcraft is getting another graphic overhaul to update it.
Oh, I
finally.
didn't see that.
Yeah, I saw the advertisement on something I was logging onto.
Oh, I guess in World of Warcraft's news, WoW Classic Burning Crusade has released, which begs the question, when do they stop?
What do you mean?
It's WoW Classic. Everybody wanted WoW Classic to be the original game.
Oh,
But now-
that's been the debate since the
And it's staying.
Yeah.
That's been the debate since the original launch.
Oh, I know.
At what point do we end? At what point are you like, well, that was my favorite version. I'm done now. Final Fantasy XI, I've discovered, has private servers for each expansion.
That's what they're going to do. That was going to be my next point, is that WoW's going to continue selling you guys packages of the expansions, like partitioned off into their own little boxes. That way you can play whatever expansion you want to play as long as they're making money.
At least you don't have to buy Burning Crusade again. It's literally, you just have to have a subscription to WoW to be able to play WoW Classic. So
Right.
it's not like it's any extra, but I'm just wondering when do they stop being classic?
The next patch 6.1 will have the anti-aliasing update and a few other. Enough of a graphical update that they're talking about it. You know what I mean? Like to me, it sounds like not much, but
I mean, they can't really do much graphically without taking the whole game off line for a while.
That's been my actual issue for the longest time. With I like WoW, but WoW is super difficult to truly update and make it look good. Like when you compare it to any other modern day MMO, it's like WoW's I know the cartoony graphics give it life, and that's one of my biggest arguments. They've made something that stands the test of time because it's more artistic instead of just being like, we tried to be as realistic as possible. But now it's starting to look really dated is the problem, you know?
That's been my issue with WoW every time I've tried to get into it.
It just looks really dated.
And I get it.
Yeah.
And then I get it. It's kind of like a Persona almost, where like it's just got its own graphic style. But even with that game, they're able to update it so it still looks. You can keep the artistic style and still render it with better graphics.
Yeah.
I would argue.
I don't know. It's interesting that they're getting a graphical update. And you're right. Classic did drop the new Burning Crusade. And it's right now just goes into Burning Crusade. Like for me, I would jump in for are we just redoing the WoW cycle now? And so
That's basically what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like WoW Classic started with just the one raid, and then they're like, here's the next one, and then the next one. All right, so all the raids are released, so Burning Crusade's coming.
Yeah.
And now they're just going to go through the patch cycle of Burning Crusade, and then Wrath will come out.
I think Wrath was considered the peak. Was that? No, Mist did have the peak, I think. Mist was the big peak. The one that I didn't play at launch.
I played it at
As a
launch and
non-player-
then stopped.
As a non-player, Wrath, I think, from an outsider's perspective, was at least when it reached the biggest like pop culture influence.
Well, I
It's
remember
also when
Wrath
the
having-
story ended.
Yeah. So if you don't know, Warcraft's whole point was Warcraft 1 through 3 was a storyline, which then went into the World of Warcraft, Burning Crusade, and Wrath of the Lich King, and it ended.
Because you beat
Right.
Arthas, and he was the big baddie in Warcraft 3.
Right. And as a non-player, I'm aware of all of that information. You're saying Mist probably had the highest player count, maybe, but I have no idea what that story is about.
Well, exactly.
Having
And
not played it.
Pandas.
Yeah,
it's about
based-
pandas.
They liked the movie Kung Fu Panda. No, I agree. Wrath, I think, hit the most mainstream because Wrath was the one that finally convinced me to really try to deep dive into WoW, because that was that guy that was like dipping my toe in a few minutes.
Oh, that's when I went hardcore into raiding.
Yeah, exactly. Same.
Was
here.
Wrath.
So, all right. Well, that's all the news we got. Let's see if we found something else without telling me.
No, the other two things I found weren't really news. I just added them in case we needed them.
What are they?
Shin Megami Tensei 5 has a leaked release date, seemingly. It's going to be announced at E3.
Which apparently is next week. I
Yep.
didn't
So
know that.
prepare for lots of news. But the releases will be out November 11th.
Okay. What was the other
And
little thing
then Square is going to have a showcase on June 13th.
Yes.
And it's going to show a lot of Babylon's Fall, apparently.
Valorant's coming to phones and mobile
I forgot about
platforms.
that.
Yeah.
I missed that one.
Not sure how I feel about that. 'cause
Everything's
I
going
enjoyed
mobile.
Valorant.
Everything's going mobile and app game at this point. It all is. Some games are making versions, like Fortnite made a version, Call of Duty made a version. But if you're not aware, last time I saw, I think Call of Duty Mobile surpassed actual
It
Call
is
of Duty
one
sales.
of Call of Duty Mobile is one of the biggest grossing app games of all time.
Yeah, it is.
And they just sell skins and crap. It's not like
I just need to stop judging at this point because, I mean, obviously people are enjoying it if it's selling this well.
The problem is with app games, and I was talking about this the other day, yesterday, because I finally, and we'll talk about this on the Monday podcast, but I finally decided to give Genshin a bigger shot than 1 hour and going, Breath of the Wild.
he likes it.
We'll talk about it. I've been playing a little bit more since yesterday, but we'll talk about it. Anyway, the problem is everyone, when they hear app games, still thinks Candy Crush. That's the problem. Of all the tropes that have hit video games in general, live services, those are bad, those are negative. Every other game's a live service now. Everyone kind of I'm fine with it, just don't call it a live service. Like, that's literally what we've hit with the live service market. Just don't call it that. Battle passes, terrible. Why does every game need a battle pass? I look for battle passes now. Like, oh, cool, something to do. You know what I mean? Like everything has adapted and changed, but when you say app game, people still think Candy Crush. No real gamer plays an app game. Like, Huey and I play, I've got one going right now.
I currently actually don't have any playing at the moment. Surprise. But I play 4 and I play app games more than I play normal games.
They're good for travel.
And why did I just get blurry?
I don't know. They're good for travel, but the big thing with app games that people don't realize is they're a bigger install base than any console or computer. Because when you look outside of the US, we all have a phone. Everyone has a phone. If they can get you to download Call of Duty Mobile, that's all they needed. Now they can start throwing stuff in your face. But you go to like China, Japan, bigger populations than the US, they're all on mobile and stuff like that. And if I have seen, at least in my opinion, in the last 2 to 3 years, a huge shift in mobile games where they're just becoming more. You're still blurry, Huey.
I know. I'm trying to fix it. But it's not working. Like, what happened?
The big thing with them is Call of Duty Mobile, Fortnite Mobile, all these games are selling amazing, and kids are playing them all over the place, and that's fine. But there's actual games with good story and plot coming out, and it's just getting worse. Worse in a
Better?
good, better. It's just getting better. I just got to play the Nier beta. And you know what? This is a topic. We're going to end the news right here, and we're going to film this topic right now. This is another video. Thank you for watching the PSG news. If you want to hear more about the app games discussion, it will be coming out in a day or two, whenever Dylan gets around to editing it. But we're trying to keep these news episodes as short as possible, and I have a lot of points to talk about app games. It's going to be interesting to see Shank's face go from...
Hey, I can stay deadpan.
And if you want to see that, stick around here at PSG. Thank you so much for watching the weekly news roundup. We'll be back on Friday with more news roundup, and we're going to go have a discussion about app games. Yes.
Bye-bye.